This video clip has been brought to you by IT in Canada, Canada's only integrated social media news network. Find us on the web at www.itincanada.ca.
It's been my observation through time that Canadians by nature are broader and more multi-skilled than Americans because the market isn't so vast that one can specialize in a very narrow niche for a career. Are you finding that as well as you look across IBM's operations globally?
I think that's an observation that most people would say in Canada, that Canadians themselves are probably more broader skilled. I wouldn't call them generalists, but just because of the nature of the geography that we cover or the concentration of the data centers themselves, the Canadian skilled individual tends to have more disciplines than some of what we would think of as in the U.S. or in some of the other geographies. I think the U.S. Size of the organizations allow them to get much more specialty. Again, on the larger footprints, they tend to have much more complex networks and things like that. So they tend to be known, or the stereotype would be that the Americans have a lot more deeper skills, but Canadians or the countries relative to our size tend to have people that are good, strong specialty, but have broader, more multidisciplined.
And does that position them well to be managers of these projects that span the multiple technologies and multiple
I think so, because when you get back to this interdependency of the projects, you really need more than one discipline. And if you understand networking, even though you're a server person, or you understand the new LAN fabrics, if you have a basic aptitude on those, then obviously you can do a much better job of understanding the interdependencies in your projects. I think that broad nature is where the market is going in terms of skills. People need to invest not only in their deep specialty, but they also need to look at adapting and acquiring some of those skills, the softer skills or the related technology skills.
And it's interesting that you make that observation about acquiring skills over time, because what I've seen over the last few years in Canada is that there may be entry-level jobs for new hires, but more experienced staff find fewer jobs available and tend to instead set themselves up as contractors and rent out this breadth of experience to different customers for limited duration projects. And yet that seems at odds a little bit with your survey findings. What did you find for the more advanced skills as opposed to the entry level?
It was really, the survey itself had some information, but what we've seen ourselves, you really need to, any organization, IBM included, you really need a balance of hiring new entry-level kind of people, because you need to be able to develop your own skills, and there are always roles in projects that require the more junior entry-level skills and the tasks that are associated with it. People that want to become contractors tend to do so because of the passion that they have around technology. So as they become very, very skilled in a particular area, if their passion is to continue with advanced projects or exciting projects or new rollouts, when a company that they work for has finished that rollout, they may not do new technology for 3 more years. If they don't see themselves as being a steady state individual and now maintaining that technology, and they would rather go out and do another exciting or challenging project, they either look for a new full-time employment somewhere else, or they set themselves up as an independent where they can spend their own time and invest in the technology and in the projects and move from one project to another. Other individuals that we see, we're hiring more senior people because our projects demand senior, seasoned people that we want to have for a longer period of time, and we're willing to acquire the skills that they have, but they perform key roles on a number of our projects. So it's really a balance. It really comes down to what the individual is trying to accomplish, and we will always have a mix of contractors that we'll acquire, or regs. We do have a requirement for regular IBM employees that we want to invest in their skills and continue on their development and deploy them in projects that they find of interest.